Welcome to Reflections, a show that seeks to examine if others see God in your reflection and how Scripture relates to us in this day and age.
Peace and all God's blessings be with you. Today I have entitled my show, Labor Not in Vain. And I'm titling it that because of Labor Day. 6 days you are to work, but on the seventh day you shall cease from labor, so that your ox and your donkey may rest, and the son of your female slave, as well as your stranger, may refresh themselves. That is from Exodus 23, verse 12. On the seventh day, God completed his work, which he had done, and he rested on the seventh day, and all his work which he had done. Genesis 2, verse 2. Come to me, all you who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11, verse 28. And finally, consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin. But I tell you, not even Solomon in all his glory clothed himself like one of these. Luke 12, verse 27. All of those passages refer to labor and the need for people to rest from their labors. On this Labor Day weekend, I felt compelled to examine how we look upon labor and what we consider important to labor for. At one time in my youth, the only thing that people did on a Sunday was go to church and spend time with their family and friends. That's it. You'd get up on Sunday morning, you'd dressed in your finest clothes, you'd walk to church, whether it was raining or snowing, blowing or hot. You'd walk, you'd go to Mass, you'd listen to the good news of salvation. You would ask God's forgiveness for the things you had done wrong. And you would go, partake of the Eucharist, be thankful, go home, and prepare and have Sunday dinner. And usually some member of your family came, or you'd all pile into the vehicle. And in the olden days, before cars, you'd pile into the wagon and you'd go and visit another family member where you'd join together and have dinner and laugh and sing and play music. That was in my youth. That was before our society began the progression into materialism and greed that permeates our society today. Today, even a national holiday that was supposed to honor all those who labor, and a holiday that at one time almost every single store was closed to give workers time off, and all the factories were closed, we find the day turned over to super sales and constant enticements to go shopping, shop, buy. The papers are filled with Labor Day sales. The holiday that in many states in the United States since 1894, and finally in 1897, was meant as a national holiday to give the average worker a day off, with pay, by the way, to spend their time with family has turned into a day where people are required to do the same thing they did the day before and the day before and the day before that. Work, 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 work. You know, there's more in life to work. All work and no play make Jack a very dull boy. That was an old saying back in my time. Maybe it still is. I don't know. Pope Francis, God bless him, has made statements about the dignity of work and the need for every person to have equal opportunity and fair wages, especially fair wages. Equal opportunity, equal pay. Pope Francis said, "Work is fundamental to the dignity of a person. Work, to use an image, anoints us with dignity, fills us with dignity, makes us similar to God, who has worked and still works, who always acts. There is no worse material poverty, I am keen to stress, than the poverty which prevents people from earning their bread and deprives them of the dignity of work. Where there is no work, there is no dignity. Lack of work is the result of a global decision of an economic system which leads to this tragedy, an economic system centered on an idol called money." Those are Pope Francis' words. So, every person is entitled to work. But, just as God rested, and we are called in Scripture to rest, to allow the animals, the oxen to rest, the slave to rest, we all deserve a day of rest. And that's what Labor Day was supposed to be when it was established in 1894 and became a national paid holiday in 1897. Something's gone astray since then. In Exodus 23:12, God directs people to take time off to rest. And in verse 16, God tells the Israelites, "Also you shall observe the feast of the harvest of the first fruits of your labors, from what you sow in the field, also the feast of the ingathering at the end of the year, when you gather in the fruit of your labors from the field." That's God's instruction upon which the Labor Day holiday was based. In addition to speaking to the dignity of work, Pope Francis has also spoken about how necessary it is for all people to take time to rest and take time to give thanks to God for their ability to work. Responding to the question, do we need to rediscover the meaning of leisure? Pope Francis was asked. Pope Francis replied, "Together with the culture of work, there must be a culture of leisure and gratification. To put it another way, people who work must take the time to relax, to be with their families, to enjoy themselves, read, listen to music, play a sport, but this is being destroyed in part by the elimination of the Sabbath rest day. More and more people work on Sundays as a consequence of their competitiveness imposed by a consumer society. In such cases," he concludes, "work ends up dehumanizing people." So, everyone's entitled to the right to work and to have a fair wage, equal pay for equal work. But everyone is also entitled for a time to rest, to enjoy family, and to thank God. That's the way it used to be on a Sunday. And that's the way Labor Day used to be. It was a day where the whole family gathered, and we usually went and did something wonderful together. We went and had a barbecue. Oh, we went and had a clam bake. And there was joy and celebration. Not work, not labor. On another occasion, Pope Francis continued his thoughts on the dignity of work and the necessity of taking time off for God, family, and rest, which is what this holiday we're celebrating tomorrow was intended to do when it was initiated. The Pope said, "Rest and celebration are part of the very order of creation. We recall the conclusion of the account of creation, and on the seventh day God finished his work which he had done, and he rested on the seventh day." In other words, Catholics believe in taking time off for rest, relaxation, and recreation. And what is recreation except recreation? The Pope reminded us that a day off or vacation is therefore not laziness or shirking from work. He said, "A celebration is first of all a loving and thankful look on work well done. We celebrate work. A true time of celebration halts professional work and is sacred, because it reminds man and woman that they are made in the image of God, who is not a slave of work." The Pope also reminds us that there are many around the world who do not enjoy this simple right. He said, "Millions of men and women and even children that are slaves of work. In this time they are slaves, they are exploited, slaves of work, and this is against God and against the dignity of the human person." And all of this indignity of the human person, of slave labor, is greed. Greed that drives that. And if we do not stop and do not take time to rest, we are feeding that cancer of greed, and it will only get worse. The Pope said, Instead, life should be abundant and full of joy. We should take pride in our work and be satisfied with the job well done. We should enjoy the financial benefits of hard work and celebrate that prosperity with family and friends. Sunday is the unique day when Christians should take time off to celebrate positively with family and friends by thanking God and then enjoying each other's company. So, if we take Pope Francis' thoughts and we put them into action, what we should be doing this entire weekend is to take time to give God thanks today for the ability to work, and then take time to enjoy our family and our friends as that holiday that was first initiated in 1894 and finally became a national holiday in 1897. Take the time. Enjoy your family and friends. Don't listen to the baloney about, oh, you got to come and you'll never get this bargain again. You got to buy this, got to come shop, 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 shop. No. Don't go shopping. Go to the beach. Have a party. Enjoy each other. That's what the holiday was meant to be. That's what Sunday was meant to be. A day to thank God and a day to enjoy family and friends. And Labor Day, being the first Monday, is also the day that you take and extend Sunday into Monday and enjoy. Work is a necessity. If you don't earn your way, you don't deserve. Work is a necessity. It's mentioned in the Old and the New Testaments. It's worthy of dignity. But also, everyone should get the same pay for the same work and should have clean, healthy, working conditions. Again, I reiterate, as the old proverb says, all work, no play makes Jack and Jill dull persons. I've taken the liberty, as you notice, to make the proverb gender neutral. We work hard. We work hard for something, and we appreciate it more when we get it. When things are just handed to us freely, we tend to not appreciate them as much as something that we worked hard to get. Think about those things that you wanted and went out and worked hard to get, and think about how you cherished them and cared for them. Whereas sometimes things that are handed to you, gifts, they're there. Yeah, you're thankful. But you don't cherish them. You don't, I have heard so many excuses as to why someone is unable to take time to take 1 hour out of the week to go to church or synagogue or mosque on a Sunday or a Saturday or a Friday, or why they can't take 10 or 15 minutes a day to pray. I have had so many excuses. They have a favorite TV show they got to watch, and then they're too tired. Or too busy with my iPod or my iPhone. Oh, I've got to send a text, or I got to go to Facebook. I got to go on Twitter or one of the other places where people are always exchanging messages or posting funny little things, but they don't take 10 minutes to pray and thank God, or an hour a day on Sunday or their Sabbath day to gather with their brothers and sisters who are children of God and brothers and sisters in God, to thank God, worship God. Doesn't take a whole lot of time. We fail to reflect on what Luke 12, verse 27 was trying to teach us. In it, we read, "Consider the lilies of the field. They grow, they neither toil nor spin. But I tell you, not even Solomon in all his glory clothed himself like one of these. I think that the lesson is that if we have faith and complete trust in God, and if we acknowledge Him properly, He will provide us with whatever it is we really need. He will provide us with the necessities of life, just as He provides the birds of the air and the fish of the sea and the flowers of the field. Labor Day is a time to take time off and work, and a time to spend with the greatest gift God has given us, your family and your friends. There is no finer gift than to have family and to have friends. Without them, you are lonely. But God is always there with you, so don't give up. Labor Day should not be a day to spend, and put yourselves further in debt. Oh, well, I can get this. I can put it on my credit card. I know how that is. How do you think I kept this ministry alive for so many years? Oh, I need something, I'll charge it. But those bills have got to be paid. Don't put yourself further in debt. Take the time tomorrow to enjoy the day, to celebrate with your family and your friends. Don't bother rushing down to Macy's or Big Lots or Builder's Emporium or Home Depot because they've got a sale. They'll have the sale again. They always do. Take the time to enjoy your family. And on this Labor Day, remember to pray for those people who are struggling to find work and who have been laid off from their previous employer because of downsizing, because of greed of the employer. And pray for those who are not receiving a fair living wage, or who are forced to live in insanity and work in unsanitary and unsafe conditions. We need to pray for those who are physically unable to work because of illness or war or discrimination. And most of all, we need to be thankful that we have jobs to go to, and be thankful for the time off to enjoy our family and friends. I will close with two passages we might reflect on this Labor Day. The first is from Psalm 127, verse 1. Unless the Lord builds the house, its builders labor in vain. Unless the Lord watches over the city, the watchmen stand guard in vain. And the second is from 1 Corinthians 15, verse 58. Always give yourselves fully to the work of the Lord, because you know that your labor in the Lord is not in vain. May Almighty God continue to bless all those who labor to sustain themselves and grant unto them just wages and fair, healthy, and safe working conditions. And may we come to know, love, and thank God for the gifts that He has bestowed upon us, and for His infinite mercy and love, forgiveness. May God bless you and keep you. May He let His light shine upon you and fill you with His infinite mercy and love. And until we meet again, I invite you, please visit our website. Check out what's there, the links to our different websites, for the faith community, for our Franciscan community, and consider putting your cursor on the donation button and clicking on it and making a small donation or a large donation to help keep this ministry afloat. It'll take you to PayPal. There you're safe and secure. Pace bene, may God bless you, and have a glorious Labor Day weekend.
This program was made possible by your Franklin friends and neighbors, good folks just like you. Thanks for supporting Franklin TV. And thanks for watching.